Thanks for staying with us on Beyond 100 Days. Now, a lot have been made of the 585 million naira controversy and the fact that the suspended National Coordinator, Social Investment Program Agency, Halima Shehu, blew the whistle. Now, who is the saint and who is the sinner? 44 billion naira traced and returned, and then the allegation of 585 million naira money paid into a personal account by the suspended Minister Betta Edu, which the Accountant General of the Federation has clarified that the request was not honored. And meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has slashed the expenditure of all official travels, both domestic and international, by 60%. This development was announced by presidential spokesman during Gilali at the Villa. It is part of cost-costing measures of the presidency.
His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has, by his most recent directive, approved a massive cost-cutting exercise that will cut across the entire federal government of Nigeria and the offices of the President himself, the Vice President, and the office of the First Lady. It will be conducted in the following fashion. One, the official trips that will be undertaken within the country, that is, when Mr. President or the Vice President travels to any state within the country, the massive bills that accrued due to allowances and ESTA code for security detail coming from Abuja, going and traveling into those states, will be massively cut due to the directive of the President that the security outfits within states, whether it be police, DSS, or branches of the military, will frontline his protective detail when he travels to those.
And Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, joins me on the program. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm happy to be here with you.
So,
good afternoon.
The report coming in now is that President Tinubu has just ordered a drastic reduction in the size of entourage of all federal ministries, departments, and agencies. We guess this is in a bid to demonstrate that the Commonwealth under his watch can be trusted. But what do you think about the money surrounding the women who have led the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and then poverty alleviation? That's including the agency involving Halima Shehu.
Well, don't let us jump to conclusions yet, because I saw your promo now saying who is the saint, who is the sinner. Nobody is a saint yet. Nobody is a sinner yet. These women are still under investigation. So we need to keep our fingers crossed until the FCC completes its investigation and then tells us this is their finding. So we have to give all of them the benefit of doubt before we rush to judgment. That is my advice. Don't let us rush to judgment. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's be patient and await the outcome of the EFCC investigation.
Of course, the assumption of innocence until proven guilty, that's the law. But we see that Betta Edu has been suspended. We also know that the Interior Minister, Tunji Ojo, had a private meeting with President Tinubu today. Well, some may say that, look, they are not the same thing. And in fact, that he had resigned from that company, which is now being looked at. But for a lot of people, it is the way in which he got the contract that is in focus. What is likely to happen to Tunji Ojo?
He has done it several times since he came in. He suspended Emefiele from office because he was under probe. He suspended Rashid Bawa from EFCC, similarly because he was under probe. I think it's normal. It's a normal routine. When you're investigating anyone who's occupying an executive position, the first thing is that that person must stand down from where the person is so that investigation can be conducted unfettered. So that's the approach of the Mr. President.
But is Tunji Ojo also being investigated? What is likely to happen to him?
I'm not aware of that yet. I've been following what people are writing about him in the social media, all kinds of accusations. I think yesterday I saw him on Chanel's TV responding to some of those things. I'm not aware that any investigation has been called, instituted to probe him or to do anything, nothing like that as of now.
And with Betta Edu being suspended, what code of conduct do we expect political appointees to uphold and be held by?
Well, I think, you see, at the retreat of ministers, I think it was in November, the retreat touched on a lot of issues about the program of our party, about the program of government, and also a special session on all these financial regulations and the way ministers should handle their offices, their relationship with permanent secretaries, and those who are really the establishment. So I think they were giving all these guidelines, and they already know they were giving all these blueprints about how to work within the system. I think anyone who attended that seminar, that retreat, should have been well guided, and should not be having the kind of problem you're having today.
I will get to that in just a moment, but let's talk about the coordinating minister for the economy, Wale Edu, who has now been tasked with conducting investigation and then setting up a panel and some kind of audit to ascertain the inflows and outflows coming out from this all too sensitive ministry. What do you think is likely to happen?
No, you see, what has happened with everything we have been reading in the media is that there are some loose ends in the financial regulations in government, especially with some of the agencies. You see, the TSA, the Treasury Single Bill, the TSA, Treasury Single Accounts, was supposed to cover all that. But people forget that the TSA is actually an open bank. Every ministry or parastatal has its own account and operates its own account within the TSA framework. So, but now what they find that because people have the license to operate their own account within the TSA structure, there must be some rules, maybe about the kind of money you can move around, move out of the place, or things like that. Maybe you need to get some approval to do certain things. I think that's what the president has seen. Don't forget, our president is an accountant, and he is worried. He is very concerned to make sure that at least certain measures are put in place now to make sure that we don't have the kind of things we've read in the papers, like the woman in SIPA moving out billions of naira from the TSA. The president wants to stop all that, and that's why he set up. He asked Mr. Wale Edu, who is the coordinating minister, to do certain things to ensure that we don't have such outflows again.
And I like that you said there are rules, and I want us to talk about those rules because Betta Edu is a 37-year-old woman with a very promising career. You would say that even in the thick of all of these, groups have continued to commend her. Some have even referred to her as Miss Integrity. She and her aides have come out to talk about the fact that there was no wrongdoing. But, let's talk about these civil service rules. How does it work? Can you pay the sum of 585 million naira into somebody's account?
Well, as far as I know, no minister can sign out such amount of money, 500 and something million. What I found strange in what Mr. Edu was accused of was that the paper in circulation bore a signature. Everybody who has ever worked in government will know that that's not correct, that's not normal. That paper ought to have been initiated by the permanent secretary in that ministry, or if the permanent secretary is not there, the director of finance and administration. It's not the business of any minister to sign anything about money. The PAMSEC can advise, can raise a memo, or you need to pay X, Y, Z, and then the minister can now, just on top of paper, approved for payment, because they will need his approval for payment. That's what the rule says. So nobody can, and then you cannot pay government money into a private account. Everybody knows that it is wrong, unless perhaps that private account is your contractor, and it ought to have been approved, pre-approved somewhere before you can ever pay it. So those are the things that people see that are not normal and that, in fact, that's why I said these issues are being investigated by the EFCC.
Mr. Onanuga, when you said earlier that there is no saint or no sinner, and you've also now mentioned the fact that her signature was on that document, which is not normal, isn't that already an indication of wrongdoing, in your opinion?
No, it's not. Because, as I said, let me tell you something. Mrs. Edu is new in government. And maybe she did a lot of these things innocently. As I said, you need to give her some benefit of doubt. You need to give all those people who have been accused of one form of malpractice or the other a benefit. They may have reasons for what they did. For instance, I've heard that the Nsippa woman is saying that, oh, was trying to help the country in moving the money. Let her tell her story to the FCC. And the FCC believes the story. This is what they're going to report back to Mr. President. So let's give them, let's not, you see, you can't continue to judge people in the media. Let the agencies of government do their investigation, and then they will report what their findings to the authorities that set them up.
And you talked earlier about that ministerial retreat, and I said we were going to get back to it because we know that it will look like President Tinubu is tightening the noose around the necks of his appointed aides and ministers. We've seen what he's done with the EFCC, the CBN. Even just now, Betta Edu. He looks like he's demonstrating that no table will be left unturned. But so where do you think that this investigation is going to go? Some people believe that, look, it's all going to be smoke, and at the end of the day, it will billow out.
No, it's not. Don't forget, in his New Year's speech, the president made it very clear that those who are going to be in his government going forward, that they begin to show themselves this quarter, the first quarter of the year. So he has already given them a kind of a timeline either to perform or to shape out. So what he has done by suspending Halima Shehu, by suspending Betta Edu, there are strong signals that his government will not allow all kinds of shenanigans to go on, that is serious about stopping all this nonsense that are happening, which, under some time ago, there are things like this happening in government, and nothing was done to when people make allegations, or somebody has done this, somebody has done that. But he wants to make a difference. This is a new year, and he's been saying along that he's trying to land the ropes. I think he's signaling to people that, he has now left the learning process and really wants to take full control and make sure that the ship of government is well on course.
This is one development that Nigerians are quite interested in, and they're looking to see if the outcome will be transparent, irrespective of who is declared guilty or not. Thank you so much for talking to us, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
That's our program today. Watch a repeat broadcast at 6 a.m. tomorrow and at midnight today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Precious Amayo.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu.